Tomfoolery. And also learn some other stuff, such as having scripts, because I have functions that might need to be global, and then you can just create a script that does that. Which I don't know which function it was that was supposed to be global. I feel tired today. So anyway, was almost mean already. Yep. You're missing 1% KCT. I don't know why I will be so tired today. Dude. Coding time. Oh yeah, how much coding is going on the generator side? I can't see because I'm not looking at the screen. I can't have a careful look. Yeah. I'm a cheerleader. I could change my outfit. Yeah, because yeah. When that's my thing. I change outfit. I have many options, but you have me so small on your screen because you have the group thingy. So I can change it to this one, and then I'm being a. But this is just my old design for some reason, so they changed that. I didn't realize it was my old design too. Been using it for so long. No, for some reason this one is the old design. Well, how did that end up? Actually, this one is also the old design. What? I'm a mermaid. That is very strange. Because yeah. I mean, if you want to, you don't have to. But then you have to change it back. I've seen a new emote I made. I should be able to, well, I can't make it larger on your side, but I can make it larger on my side. It's Kafki as a cheerleader. I could yeah, people wanna see Pon Pon, yeah. Okay. I could wear something that shows my tummy. People like that, right? Oh no! It is. It is how human work. I like how you say things. It's really strange that I got the old. Because I have a file that is literally called base old, but I'm sort of selected the one that's literally called base normally. I get good names on these. Well, I guess I have to fix these then. I'm wearing a bikini. This one should be below, I think. there. Not what I wanted. There. And place this here, delete that, and save over it. What? What are you talking about? Batwolf? Wow, Kafka Jelly, yeah, that's the name what I made. Do you like my magical girl? Yeah. The Kafka is also showing Tammy. You want one of Naruto? The static unmoving face. No emotions, just doing the motion. After those. Hologram. Yes, the hologram thingy. Well, that makes sense, yeah. And there you go. Now it's actually the correct design. Now a dream bunny. And now I can become even bigger. Alright, how do you fix that issue? So you don't really need a special scene for me, I can just use the bigger one. Special scenes, space source, but yes, I meant to say. Really? Oh yeah. Because you want more pom-poms. No, one is not enough. For example, we have this function here. One pom-pom is plenty. Oh no. I don't know what if we had some global functions. A function that has like a general purpose, such as my rotate forward function. Yeah, should we create a folder scripts as a folder in the scripts for these? And what should we call that one? Global. Yeah, and then we can run a name for this file. Namespaces. Well, yeah, it does have a name that you would then name. Yeah, yes, I mean... New empty C# script. Yeah. Oh, wait. Wait, what does that do? Okay, but what is the namespace? Okay, so by making it a namespace, you need to request or like add that. I mean, sure. I mean, boom, we have them here. Yeah. Well, that I don't know. We could call it global, but like, we should probably have a namespace that's more fitting the use case. I guess global is a placeholder for now. I mean, that's what file it's called. But I'm not really sure, so... Yes. It said it really quiet is muted on stream. I see the visual cues. Really? It should be speaking. Apparently not. That's weird. I can hear you, so it's working, but why is it not picking it up then? Because it's here. I did remove the doors. I guess it has another source. I need to delete sources. Gotta clean up things here. What's a coach's source? Delete some sources I don't need here. I have these. If I still use them. That's a sunny source. There's some random windows. Don't think I have anything here. Because it must be using link to Discord or some other source that causes the issue to happen. But I don't see, oh, here we go. There you go, that might fix the issue.
Maybe.
It exists another source pointing to Discord. OBS can only read the audio from one source pointing at a thing.
I see. Well, does it work now?
Yes, now it works.
Nice.
But okay, I don't understand the namespace thing though, because
It is quite simple to use, and it is mostly a categorization tool, but it can also be used in limiting access.
how does it
also
differ?
categorized. What?
From not using it, because you can also not use it. And
Well, if we were to not use it, and let's say we wanted to have mathematical functions in a certain like subset of things. There already exists math, I think, maybe just math, and then
yeah, the per float
those
versions.
and then those have their things that they contain.
Yeah.
So we can technically, for example, have our own math, and it just being contained under the global script. Then instead of writing math and it trying to find the context difference between these two maths and trying to resolve which one it actually wants to use.
I mean,
in that
you
case.
just not call it like that's seems irrelevant, but because you would call it something unique that wouldn't collide with something else. I'm just curious, like how the namespace does make a difference here, because does this song feel louder now?
I guess at the very moment I haven't really thought of it too deeply. I have been told to sort of use it more than I am, and I sort of see the reasons for doing that, especially in group projects. But at the moment I am not able to make them audible, I think. Or maybe I am just not, or maybe there just aren't other reasons besides organizing.
There might be some reasons, I just don't know what the difference is, because when you create a script not using namespace, you define the name of your script and then you add all the functions into it, and then to use one of these functions you write the name of the script followed by the function's name, so it's still unique in that sense. I'm just curious, what does namespace do? Because you already got a name of the script, but do we need a second name of the script? That's what I'm confused about.
One thing is that when you are writing things, it does suggest you multiple things. So if you don't want to use the scripts we have there,
so I guess
it will not suggest them.
Well, I guess so. I guess that makes sense.
Do want to use them, you could always just write the namespace, and then after that you have a far shorter list of things to get suggested by.
Wait, how would you refer to this?
So now if you go to any other of our of your scripts,
okay,
and at the top into the using part, you write using global script.
So I should write that to have it. Okay,
It usually
so that's
knows
the,
to
so
add it
that
itself.
is the difference. That it's the namespace would filter it out.
Yes.
Would I still? I wonder if I need to define things in a different way then.
In what different way?
I don't know, because I don't know how this works.
You still need to have the class in there. That it
Yeah.
is a sub.
Okay, so particular instance members. I don't know. Oh, there we go. Does this work? I don't using this anymore. Using global script. And if I want to use, say for example, I don't have rotate. That's not what I wanted. Rotate forward here. Alright. With error here, because this one is using a rotate forward. So this would be the global script rotate forward.
Yes.
Apparently not.
It would need to be global script. I think dot global script, because you named the class global script.
Well, that has a bunch of redundancy. Well,
It's sort of the same level as Unity Engine Vector 3. What's a Unity Engine?
I don't know.
The global script is grayed out, so I guess it doesn't know what it's trying to use from there.
Global script. Global script. I don't know what I did. This code doesn't exist. Global script. Doesn't exist. There nothing exists in it.
And you... was it private or public?
Oh, it might be
Global
this.
script.
Oh, this one might be set to private still. There we go.
Well, that explains it.
Global script. Global script. Rotate for. Okay, there's. Can't you type like using space global script? That is not allowed. That's something you do later, like names. No, that's right. Using namespace. No, that's not a thing you could do. I guess you can't. Yeah, because okay, so I thought this would help me balance out the music, but I guess it doesn't really. I guess I have to look into music balancing more.
That do be a problem.
So anyway, if we have global functions, so we could have it in a namespace that makes it so you only have them in access them in scripts that you need them in, or we choose like, oh, the globals these are the global functions that should be available everywhere, because I mean
The thing is, they're technically not available everywhere because we still need to kind of call them in. But they are available everywhere. I presume that's what you meant.
I don't
by
know what
that.
you meant by that. But if you don't use a namespace, that means that you,
Don't have access to them.
well, you
Or
do.
Visual Studio will just give
You will
access
have
to them.
you will have access to them just everywhere.
The script does not have access to them until you tell it to have access to them, but
No,
I guess
if
that's what I'm
I
trying to say.
don't have the namespace of it. There you go. That means that now there will be an error here because global zip doesn't exist as a namespace. But I can still go to where I want it to be, and then I still can type global script, and then the function is here. It just reduces.
When you make it, okay, when you make it a, yeah, okay. Then we do have access to it everywhere, yeah.
So that was what I referred to first. We still have access, but sure, it does mean that it is available everywhere, and it does add one more option, basically everywhere when you're coding. And maybe you don't want that.
I feel like it might to some degree be more of a self-limiting tool. How to put it?
But it would, yeah, but sure. I can get behind being able to specifying that you want a certain want a certain script. I just don't get the whole redundancy of
Well, the redundancy.
I mean, it's like if there's going to be one class inside the namespace, why can't just this be a namespace itself?
Because that's how classes work.
A namespace class. Oh. Because it's just, I mean, sure, I guess it works if you have more than one class inside it.
Which is how they are meant to be used, yes. And then the classes can interact with each other more openly than stuff outside of the namespace. Was it protected that how did it go again? Private is something that at least child classes can't use. Protected is something that child scripts can use. I don't remember if the protected is something that other namespace or other things in the same namespace can do. Though I suppose it would be rather easy to find out. One way it is rather useful is if you are making an asset that is not necessarily meant to be used by your specific product. Because then the end user doesn't need to concern themselves with what you have happened to name your stuff. Because there's always that one gateway that everything goes through. Or multiple gateways. If you have decided to do that.
Well,
TextMesh Pro might actually be one of the good examples here. And I would imagine Cinemachine. However the heck you are supposed to pronounce it.
yeah, like, you can call it something else, and then you have like, and then you go here, Now it complains about that. Really? What?
Because trans...
But it's supposed to what?
So now because transform...
But I had to
It
specify
might
it was specifically global scripts function class I wanted to use. Now all of a sudden it's... What's going on? This is
Yes, you don't need to specify the
That is a mess.
namespace.
I guess only if it has the same name.
Then it's kind of a way for you to escape the clear conflict. You can then specify which one it is. But yeah, it's suboptimal. Very suboptimal. Hmm.
Why is the music volume so varied?
Good question.
Seems like it's amplifying it way too much. Maybe I should just half the strength of it. So if I divide it by 2. Okay, so take it the amplifying amount divided by half. Just got too quiet.
Never blame me.
That's not what I want to do. What? Oh, why is that one active all of a sudden? Why is the Windows calculator terrible? That's the wrong thing. Okay, how about that? I take it by 150 instead of 100. That means that it will still use the amplifying function to determine how much you should amplify it, but it doesn't do it with full effect. As I was testing things and I created one I called Mathic with extra functions, and it was bonk and it was neat to have. Well, I guess this should work in that case. But it... Thank you for lurking. That doesn't like you're wearing the wrong type of pants. Unfortunately, I do not have a subscription to Mechanical, but At least I can use both. Yay! There we go. Bubble boy. Oh. I don't even know what we call it, global transform. I'm still going to see how things work. So I can't use just the function straight because I need to specify it. So I can specify global transform and then rotate forward. And then it works. But it's kind of weird calling it global transform, but it works. Okay, so having a little skip is still a good thing, but it just needs a better name.
Yeah. I'm thinking for stuff that handles... Oh yeah, but that would be mathematics, so would this be...
Yeah.
Naming don't go along too well.
Yeah, the strafing thing. It's set to strafe match.
The first thing that comes to my mind would be like geomlib, geometry library. Did you hear?
Yes, but I was thinking.
Fair enough.
Mikaoi. What keyboard you got? Wait, this some random keyboard is not my keyboard. Well, I guess I technically did buy it. So I guess it's technically my keyboard. But I took it over for someone else who had it. They never managed to break it, so now it doesn't even stay stable on the table. Well, I guess it's stable now,
Yeah.
but just because there's a cable underneath it. Yeah, it's not flat on the table. It's supposed to have feet that can angle it up a bit nicer. But it only got one because the other one broke off. Very, very common for keyboards to, in my experience, to be missing one foot. Okay, make it well. That's a different question here. Some kind of game. I'm tired today. I'm annoyed by everything.
Aw.
Bonk. Flashy. And also it's again playing the music too low. How does... I guess because I did use the FFmpeg volume analyzer, it's supposed to analyze how loud the music is. And then I do, and depending on how loud it is, rather how quiet it is, it amplifies it based on that. But I guess it's inaccurate. I guess it's just inaccurate. I just have to do more testing. I have not been able to do any testing because I just set it up right before stream. It took so long, so I couldn't even get it working before the stream. And I don't like it when I don't get it to work. Don't like the keyboard thing, so being like this either is also an annoyance. You just had to. There's just been something. It's been like that since forever. Anyway. But I hope everyone here is just watching off Naked Furries. I'm waiting a dress, so it's okay. Ah. I mean, you could just call it something similar, like X transform to just is extra functions for transform step, such as rotating the forward.
I guess.
I guess. I don't know.
I guess.
I don't know.
Me neither.
God, you need the sieges, otherwise you wouldn't see what. Do we have anything else? I don't think so. This code over, I'm gonna delete this one so it's a bit simpler. Not much code's going on here. Too much code. It was a strafe logic that was going to work on. Also, how did I set up the controls? Everything is a mess here. This is a little weird. But of course, it's Unity. Unity is weird. You click on the input system here and you want to edit it. You have a big button here that says edit in project settings window. But in the project settings window, there's no save button. But if you double click on it, then you can save it. That makes sense.
It's kind of weird that it doesn't have save button in the settings menu.
Why don't I have strafe on? Wait, why is it only keyboard controls?
Because you have selected keyboard controls from the top.
Why is it set to keyboard controls?
Good question.
Oh, the right stick is the... Okay. That explains it.
Ran into that one earlier at some point.
So what's the point of having multiple control schemes anyway?
They're not control schemes, they're filters.
Well, it's...
They might also be control schemes now that I think about it.
That's okay, but it is called control schemes, so...
Well, then the simplest answer that I can come up with is that if you want to control multiple players on one game with different, multiple characters on the same game with different control schemes for different characters.
Seems like a weird way of doing it, but I guess that makes sense. Because you could just have a second action map for player 1 and player 2.
Why do that when you can just say that, hey, by the way, this character uses keyboard, and this character uses the first controller, and then this character uses the second controller?
But that wouldn't be neither action map nor control scheme.
So, because you can specify what each one is, I think you can specify what each one is using. You can then kind of make them,
I mean, you can set
each class listen to, well, one controller class, one control class to listen to just the keyboard. At least I think that is how you can do it. I haven't battle.
There's probably some sense in
myself.
that. There's probably sense in what you're saying.
At least I hope so.
Yep, strafing is working.
Nice.
Strafing is not working. It takes the input at least. I just have to do it straight for logic, which is going to be interesting. Because it will move faster forward and backwards. I'm trying to kill you. Why are you attacking me? This is good practice for me still, but... So let's see here.
Oh, that explains a lot. Extra dot can do a lot of difference in codes. Especially when it's tied to string and nothing can actually say that, hey, by the way, this I can't find this anywhere.
So since the helicopter moves the fastest forward, it would make sense to have like a forward moving button. So with the standard input scheme currently, accelerating forward and turning is the same for the helicopter as the tank. But okay, I'm starting to realize how I want to build this.
Nice.
But then you have separate strafing inputs, but that means that you could do the forward input and a strafing input at the same time. And I'm thinking this starting to sound complicated perhaps, but
There do be a lot of ways to deal with that, yes.
okay, what if it takes the forward input and the more input on forward you do, it okay, how did I think as for the throttle driving it's +1 for forward, -1 for backwards. And that is correct. Okay. So this would therefore represent the values. Wait, transform performance and error. This one just transform forward is vector 3, I guess. Yes.
It do be.
Which figures out which way it points. Do we have a vector 2 to vector 3 converter?
No, I don't think we have.
That's is that a function, a global function we should have?
I mean, honestly, yes, probably.
Output vector 3, and it could be, what should we call that? Vector 2 to 3. That's not confusing name. Takes a vector 2 input. It doesn't like that name. No, it's because I haven't done all the outputs yet. There. And it will return new vector 3 which is the input x, 0 input y. There we go.
I wonder, would you like to make an overload of that? Where you can input the height?
How do you do an overload?
Copy and paste the whole method below it.
Like
and
this?
Then add into the input
Floats height. So like this.
Yes. Yes, just like that.
That's neat.
Yeah, and now it decides what overload it uses based on what the input is.
So X transform is that's what I call it. Vector 2 to 3, and then we have overload. Ooh. You can take out height included in it to it or not. And then it takes current strafing. Okay, so these are kind of the things I need then. Let F lerp. So it will use this value. Otherwise it will use currently throttling. And it's going to base that on the throttle itself. Wait, no wait, that's not. No, it should be forward. Before it needs to be backwards. And I also cannot do a lerp because the lerp is a float. I need a vector 3 lerp. Is there? That's okay. So if I do again, public static vector 3, which should be the output, and then you do vector 3 lerp, unless there is one A, B, and it's going to have float as the input. Technically, I guess you could have a vector 3 input too. Which means this one will return. Let's see if I can make this work. And a new vector 3, which is AX. No, it's this is going to math F, which is AX BX T, and then Y and Z. But it's there we go. But it's complaining about the math F. Non-invocative member methods cannot be used like a method. What do you mean? What does that mean?
What does that mean?
It does is oh, I need to actually type the word lerp. Can I forget about that part? There we go. Now there's a vector. Unless there is a vector 3 lerp. Can I didn't check that properly? Let's check math F. Doesn't have any vector stuff. Does it have a vector? Does it have a vector 3 lerp? Oh, actually, it does have a vector 3 lerp. Okay, I don't need this. Don't wanna. Well, that's fun to create. Delete. But that's too why.
Mostly because of the quote.
Wait, what did you do this for the code? Wait, what?
What is it? Nice choice, Janeto. I hope nothing bad will come out of this.
My comment? How do I do... Is there a function, otherwise I can create it, which gives 1 for positive and -1 for negative?
One for positive and minus for negative.
Yes, that's it. 0 can be counted as positive. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. 0 can be counted as 0. It doesn't matter. Is there such a function?
I do not remember.
It would be
One thing
called...
I do remember... was it like normalize?
No.
Which... Yeah, that it doesn't do what we want, no.
Yeah.
That's just...
A normalizing vector 3 makes its distance 1. If I'm not mistaken. And vector 2 as well. Not sure what it would do with a float. Maybe it does. Maybe. I mean, it doesn't...
Normalizing vector 3 made it a vector that has length of 1.
Yeah. So it's basically what I want for a float, which would just be +1 or -1. But it could also be called... what is it called? It's a function in Photoshop. Quote, policy, nice choice, Janeto. I have nothing bad to come to this. That is the quote. Yeah, you said quote.
Quote.
I misunderstood. Yes. I thought you said code before and I got confused.
That would be a confusing thing.
Threshold is called. So does it have a thresh? No. Okay, I'm going to create then. Okay, this time we created public static and this I guess float threshold. Okay, how do I got to make sure I spell threshold correctly.
I think threshold
it's probably not a good
doesn't
term.
care if it's below the designated number.
A threshold would actually give a 1 or 0, I guess.
Does it? Okay, this might just be based on me playing with Stormwork logic too much.
Maybe. Because Photoshop does a 1 or 0. And...
No, clamp is the one. Okay, yeah, threshold might...
Clamp sets a value between 1 and 0. It does allow values in between.
Well, clamp... At least the clamps I have used takes a lowest and highest number and then forces the number that is given to be within that range.
Yes, that's not what I'm looking for.
Yes.
But yes.
Thanks for the system check, Pat.
Threshold can work as a term, but maybe there's a better term.
I am terrible with terms I have not needed to use. Because that is how I learn terms. Surprise, surprise.
Fair enough. I mean, technically, we could take extra inputs for what the positive ending is. Yeah. Yeah, it would be like crystal habits, which is like float, input, float, positive float, negative float, cut. I don't know. I'm just making up names now. And then like if input is below cut, return instead of post snake, let's go with high low. If it's below the cutoff point, it gives a low value. Else, well, I don't need an else, I can just return high. That's it. Yeah. I wonder what is better to use. It might be better to use an else, because that might actually work better in the processor. Because this creates a one branching system, so it goes low or high. If I don't use else, it still has a branch which is low or nothing, and if it does nothing, it goes to the return, which I feel like might actually be one more step of processing. I don't feel like threshold is kind of like a transform function though. We can put it here. And you can do overloads like, can you do it like this?
Xmath, for those extreme math nerds.
Yeah. Now we can do the threshold in both floats and ints. Okay, so I do x mass because I'm and it is the threshold. Yes, there we go. So is this the throttle? High, low, cut point. Let's mark them as floats because they are floats. And then it's the transform forward, multiply by that. And finally, this one. With this one at the start. Oh, beautiful code, isn't it? And this becomes a vector 2, which is the strafe direction. And I probably should comment this because this is a weird code. Determine a direction of strafe acceleration brakes lurks towards forward.
Just having a lot of melons on Bonbon's side, I see.
Oh, I got 16 melons. Are you interested? Maybe.
What do you want for them?
Well, how many do I am collecting pears, oranges, lemons, and bananas. Wait, yeah, that's what you said. I had a lot of melons. You have a lot of melons.
The chat has a lot of melons on your side.
I actually have quite a few melons. I mean, I could.
Is that really a surprise?
No.
Indeed.
Ta-da! I don't know if you want more melons. You do have a lot of blueberries. Whoa! Thank you for the trade.
My blueberries.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was thinking maybe one more blueberries.
They grow naturally.
Or even has the most, but you're in second place. You're in a beautiful second place.
Has Oriman been stealing Bonbon's blueberries?
Wait, what? Nah, you've just been collecting them. I think I gave you a bunch. For a trade, that is.
Maybe. It seems rather odd that you would only have 5 of them.
Yes, I've definitely been trading them away. I got 245 bananas, so... I have so many of them. Cold and Metallica are holding on to a bunch of bananas. I just need to convince them to give them to me. For free! Oh, I can't do a trade. Time for some Kafka chili. Yeah. Kafka is really happy with it. Someone like when I said that I was working on an emote, some people were trying to guess for who was going to get the third cheerleader emote. Someone's like, it might be Cupkey. It is Cupkey. But I couldn't reveal that, so someone else then said, "No, I can't be Kafka. She barely ever streams, so." But it is Kafka. And she's so happy with it. Carl, can I have your bananas? Can I have your pears, oranges, lemons, and bananas?
long wait. For...
That is 77 points.
Nope.
No. Code,
Only right answer.
why you so evil to me?
Well, who knows?
I'm a fairy now. And now I'm dressed. Speaking of being evil.
I know not which you speak about.
Speaking about evilness. Winty in the fruit market got what you already have. But what if you want to wintle in something else, the fruit market? I don't know.
Do not let Bon have the monopoly.
This should work. Oh look, it works. Look, you get some high valued fruits. And Todd, and I'm also providing those fruits to Todd. He's going to be so happy being able to get even more lemons and oranges. Give my fruits. Okay, Code. Be like that then. I gotta put up gambling systems or like so you can challenge each other with fruits.
On opening semi-legal fruit gambling sites.
Yeah. Hello, kids. Lovely. Oh, bluey. Now we need the barking emote. Cut onion, more like orimian. There's the barking emote. I wonder who made that one. Bark, bark, bark. I hope you get good use of it. Okay, I do have target speed, strafing, current speed, strafing. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. Okay, I know how to build this code. Okay, it's going to be a bit tricky because I kind of need to. I'm going to make it work. Yeah. This is going to be very interesting to get this to work, but I have ideas. I got the initial codes, which is quite a mess, but this should almost be a function in itself, actually. Maybe I should make it a function. Okay, first off, what does the function do? The function does something. It learns between two vectors 3 values, where one is which way forward is based on your by pressing the accelerator, and it does the inverse if you press the acceleration, the going backwards button. And the other value is the way you're currently strafing, so it will strafe in the way you're going unless you start pressing the accelerate button to move forward. Then it will, the more you press it, the more it will point towards the forward of the helicopter, and when you release it, it will start strafing in the way you're currently strafing. This is like, because going forward is the fastest the helicopter can do. This is again mimicking the original game this is based on. So if you're in any merge, so if you're out strafing but you get in a situation where you just need to go forward, you just press the accelerator, the standard, or whatever you choose to set your key inputs to, but by default the accelerator button, and the helicopter will just go forward as fast as it can. You need to make sure which way you're pointing, of course, but then it will disregard your strafing. And if you press the accelerator halfway, it will go between halfway so you're strafing and halfway forward. If you want that. So yeah, so it's kind of a LERP in that sense, but I don't... how would you like... also, I call this function rotate forward. Shouldn't they call it forward rotate instead? I'm going to rename it. Now we're going to have an error somewhere. There it is. Boom. Because it's a forward that rotates. It doesn't rotate forward, because that could be like it's rotating towards the forward. That's not what it does. It is takes the forward thing and then it rotates that. I mean, this is just a LERP function anyway, but it is specifically based on because it's using a lot of repeated values. It uses the current throttle. I mean, it's probably fine to have it like that, whatever. And also, this should be placed in the target speed strafing, actually. No, target speed. No, it's not target speed strafing. I guess that is the next thing to. Okay, now this should give it. Is this normalized? No, it's not normalized because it is based on it's based on how much you push the stick. And when I said it LERPs over to the forward direction when you press the accelerator button, which is not the strafe button, it will, when it LERPs over to a value that is set to its maximum value, So if you put half forward on your strafing and then you press half on the accelerator, it takes the original half value and then half of the max value, so it will go 75%. But anyway, I think this will be good. The only thing I now need to figure out is how far from forward is the current strafe direction. And wouldn't it be better if I kept the strafe direction as a vector 2 instead of a vector 3? Actually, now I think about it. So I will actually change this function. Okay, I will make a copy of the function. Opposition is a vector 3 because this is a vector 2, yeah. Strafe. No, it should say vector 3 because it's strafe direction. But it should be a vector 2. Wait, can I just take a vector 3 apparently? So don't need to convert it actually. That was not necessary. But I guess I should have the opposite. A vector 3 to 2 instead. Do you want any overloads on this? Such as which? I mean, you could just obviously create, but this is just to simplify it. This is
I'm sort of concentrating on
fair enough.
understanding the loading system.
Fair enough. I will go and get some water. In the meantime.
Yep. Apparently the header that is mentioned in the code here is the version of the map system. So we could technically use something like that, but in practice I don't see any reason to do so. So I need to somehow understand how to separate the things from each other.
And I'm back, so
Welcome back.
only thank you. Oh, quote, I redeem to get personally. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's just search for. Okay, so we'll like this. I need to convert it to angles. Okay, let's actually make a. Vector 2 delta angle. Here we go. It's the absolute value of. There is a delta angle function already, but I do need to convert the floats to. Apparently some kind of like dot function, dot product. I don't know what that is.
That's not ring any bells to me either. Just sitting here wondering, how does this reader know what it's reading? What part is it supposed to be reading? Or is it always just gonna read the next thing that comes along? Which would make things easier, I suppose. I guess there's an easy way to test that.
Because the dot product will make things easier to work with. Because it's a vector 2 dot of A and B. Submit timeline to then.
Okay, and then we prepare for a wall of text. Or I guess I could have... Yeah, I guess I could have just made it, print all of it into one long debug log, but... There's not gonna be much of a difference here. That's only 60.
Right, I need to normalize these. Oh, there's also
Okay, what the heck are the first two things I write in there? Oh, they are int 64s or something, aren't they? No, they're floats, of course. What else would they fucking be? Yes, that explains fucking everything.
but I still need for the actual angle. I need still this. There. No, that should be correct. I hope.
I suppose the reader was technically easier to use than I even imagined, so I was just sitting here confused for far too long.
I guess. Yeah.
Apparently it just always reads the next thing when you request info from it, which makes it very easy to use. Just confusingly simple to use, I guess. Well, now it changed the number. Just not the number I want it to be. Oh yeah, because I didn't save that size, so yeah, of course it's gonna load the old. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. Angles are tricky to work with.
Geometry 2 be an art of its own.
Yeah. Oh, I need to, yeah. That should be it. So now I can do DX transform vector 2 delta angle normalist. That's a name. Which is can I do that? What happens if I insert a vector 3 and a vector 2?
It's not gonna take it, I presume, but
We're not gonna take. Well, it does.
what does it do then?
I hope it just doesn't cut the last value. You need to cut the middle value.
One would hope that. I've not been on the receiving end of it. Monster Train 2.
Well, I guess I gotta search, see what happens. Bonk.
Lexi Lex.
Then there's the big question, how do I know which one it uses?
The simplest way is to put in the start debook.log and then force a...
I guess if I just hover over it, it tells me which one it is. And it does say that. And it does say that it's using the Vector 3 version. So now it has an overload where it can accept a Vector 3 as the first argument. which will convert it properly to vector 2.
And does the second one convert it incorrectly to vector 3?
The
Vector
second one
2.
is not taken in consideration because I need another bunch of overloads for those.
We are making a game. I am trying to get the load system to work, which I finally understood how binary reader works. And Bon is working on getting strafing to work on the vehicles.
Yeah.
What was the game's name that this was based on?
The return fire.
That one.
There we go, now we got all the overloads you need. There we go, vector 2, delta angle normalized, which is quite a name. You got four now. They can take a vector 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, and 3, 3. All you need. And this gives a value from 0 to 1. Also, thank you for first chat as well. Eagerlexilix. What is even that? I can't even say hi in C#. Hi, you wanna say hi in C#? You do string greeting equals hi. I guess you didn't say hi, but yeah, there we go. But I can understand it's. I'm a nerdy bunny.
She do be.
Yeah, I got this beautiful trying out, figure out the strafe direction, and now that I have that, I can do another LERP. This one is not going to be this is going to be a float, which is going to be strafe speed, I guess.
Vector is a struct that contains 2 floats. Or 3, depending on if it's vector 2 or 3.
Okay, let's see. I mean, I know how to print, but like, let's see if it's a vector, an angle, and X transform. Okay. Yes. Yes. You do know int, float, string, perhaps? Yes, a vector 2 is 2 floats, and a vector 3 is 3 floats, in short. Which are meant to there's a bunch of extra stuff concept, but in short it's just 2 floats and 3 floats meant to represent a 2D and 3D space. And vector 3 is used for the position of objects in 3D space. An angle is just an angle, you know, 9 up to 360 degrees. Angles in Unity, if I'm not mistaken, is using float from 0 to 360 degrees for its angle functions. But that is not what it's using to actually determine the rotation of a thing. That's a quaternion, but that's messy stuff.
They are confusing.
Yeah, but for
They have a reason
angle
to
functions,
exist.
yeah, because it does
They are
have
confusing.
like angle delta and stuff like that. Angle is just a simple number of degrees from 0 to 360, or you can also go above 360 and below 0, but that's, you know, just repeated values. And finally, X transform is a thing I made up because I wanted a bunch of functions.
It is a library containing a lot of functions dealing with transform stuff.
Yep, so I just created my own function here, which is called X transform. It expands on the transform. I couldn't think of a name. It's quite. It's when it's like, oh yeah, it expands on the transform functionality of these new different functions. Okay, X transform, sure. The only thing transforming is, yeah, sorry for ever installing you to touching C# now. But I get that you do understand C# a bit though. Ads.
Hopefully you didn't leave the experience totally on a
Yeah, it is a lot to
empty-handed.
Okay, that's is the alert value. So the speed is going to go from oh, you're right. I need 2 actually. Okay, can I just save this as in a float strafe delta, maybe? Is that a good name? Don't ask me. Quote, oh, bikini. That means my underwear is removed. That's a quote. Okay, they're going to be, yeah, I'm going to have forward accelerate. Let's put this to the side. Backward accelerate, forward max speed, and backwards max speed. And depending which angle you're strafing in, it's going to go between these 2 values. And these values are of course going to be set per vehicle for the helicopters, which are going to be different from tank. But I'm currently setting the tank to helicopter mode, so it's going to use the tank's values. The tank is set to helicopter mode. That's a raise.
I mean, there are those drones and such that have like sideways wheels on their wheels, so they can strafe.
Well, and
then there is just the ball-based locomotion methods, but they're kinda... they don't work well on softer terrain. In fact, they're kind of terrible on softer terrain. The pressure contact surface is so small because it's literally the apex of a ball.
I like balls.
Nice.
Nice, I guess, 1 point.
Well, what am I supposed to say, huh?
I don't know.
Okay, next time you mention it, I say, I don't know.
I like balls.
I don't know.
I was waiting for that one. Took you away.
Wasn't prepared for it, I guess.
Yeah.
Surprisingly enough, wasn't prepared for it.
Yeah, I wanted to catch you off guard.
Apparently so.
Well then, wheels on wheels, wheelception. Yeah. So
Yeah.
now it has the max speed and accelerated that it does from its given. Okay, now let's see if I can make sense of this. And now I'm wearing bikini. Oh, that is my underwear. I should.
I don't know how average that is, but it is funny if nothing else.
What is average funny? Oh,
I like balls.
I like
don't
balls,
know.
I don't know average.
Bonbon and Janerte conversation.
That's what we converse about, balls. That's how this Unity project started, with balls. Actually, it started with cubes, but whatever.
Very ballsy.
But then I was playing around with balls. Okay, hydrogen posture check. So. And also the answer I don't know actually came from Pon because Janet only said it as a joke. Because I answered I don't know. I'm going to dissect your comment there, Toogiebox, because it doesn't make sense.
As if what it was based on makes any sense.
Add code, that's what we converse about. Balls. Bowls. Okay. So now it have calculated. So it has its forward accelerate speed and forward max speed and reverse as well. It's currently figuring out your strafing direction compared to what is currently forward for a helicopter or vehicle, and it's going to do smoothly transition from the forward to the backwards values. And it does that now, and now it has figured out what its strafing, accelerated max speed is for the given direction.
I feel like I have only heard people joke about assembly as the most difficult programming thing around, but I have never even looked at it.
C# too hard, I'm going back to assembly. Yeah, assembly is very bare bones. You basically have to write exactly what the processor have to do. It's probably one of the languages you can write the most efficient code in, but that is if you know what the most efficient code is. You're most likely going to make a very inefficient code because you're just a human.
Oh, not like the machines are doing much better, to be honest.
Well, I mean, fair.
Takes a lot of engineering work to make good code. Some trial and error usually.
But yeah, I don't understand anything about C#. I'm come from JavaScript. Well, fair. JavaScript is easy, like, I'd say. It has a lot of weird quirks to it, but that's very specific cases. But normal use, I would say it's pretty easy to use.
My friend just called C# the C's JavaScript. I'm not totally aware what that exactly means, but then again, I don't need to.
I started programming properly in the GameMaker language. And then I moved over to programming some in ActionScript. Cause have you heard about those languages? ActionScript 2 specifically, which is the programming language for Flash. They moved out to ActionScript 3 and then Flash was unsupported. So and now it's HTML in 5 you use instead of Flash, which is using JavaScript. Now no C#, that's the note you play on the saxophone when not pressing any keys. Yeah. Is that on every saxophone or is that specific on specific ones? So I know they have different ranges, but maybe they are only a full octaves off. Who needs HTML when you have JavaScript? I mean, HTML is the position of everything.
Isn't HTML what they use to write websites?
HTML is the layout and position of the elements of the website. JavaScript is the code that runs everything. Yeah, but like I just write all my HTML in my JavaScript. Just make the HTML fine. I mean that works too. You can dynamically create your HTML elements using JavaScript, and some websites do that. You probably have to run this code for the X and Y separately. But I don't want to write the same thing twice, and I'm not sure how to like go through both. If that makes sense.
It do be making sense.
If I can like access current speed strafing 0 like this. No, it does not like that. Wait, wait, what? Current speed strafing. That should be nice. Wait, why can't it access it?
Hello, Sweaty Socks. How you doing?
That's weird.
I got loading system sort of maybe technically working, and Bonbon is dealing with strafing.
Yeah, I'm red. I am a bit confused why this one isn't working. Where I can
What is it complaining about?
Let's hide this part here. Okay, now it's not complaining anymore. Laughing bun. A laughing bun. If that's a reference to something, I don't know what it is. My pink dress kinda clashes with my fur color.
I don't know how many laughing bunnies there are, I must say. Is that any better?
No, now I'm not laughing, I'm crying.
No, you're not.
I'm crying. How dare you?
You were complaining that the dress didn't go with your fur, so...
Yeah, but my underwear doesn't go with the fur either.
I can't know that. I don't know what your underwear color is.
Well... Oh, well, I'm not sure if this works either.
It's at least red.
Yeah, but... Just because I'm a red doesn't mean I have to wear a red.
Well, it doesn't go against it, at least.
I don't know, it kinda... maybe.
Might went a bit too well, actually.
Oh, no, that I'm naked.
Well, at least it's not the bodysuit that's the same color as your skin.
I do know the Laughing Cow cheese brand, okay. So that's a red cow, I guess.
I don't know. I feel like it's separate from the randomly picked colors.
I don't know, this is a good way of doing it. I'm doing this wrong. Oh yeah. I am. Oh, still complaints.
I'm just wondering, is Cold Snow Killer cold and kills snow?
Yeah, cold and kill snow. I mean, it would be kind of cold to kill snow. A cold action.
Very cold-blooded. That snow never killed anyone. End of file, they say.
So I was thinking, like, what if I take... Oh, I don't know. Wait, is it for each?
Is that a Bonbon emote?
What? No,
No.
no. It's hard to win. Just because it's panties doesn't mean it's a pun emote. But I can understand why you would
That's
think
like-
so.
20% increased chance that it is, though.
I only got one panty emote.
Most don't have any, so...
Huh. I mean, I think Hearthwood has like plenty.
Doesn't change the fact that most don't have any.
I guess the average number of pant emotes people have is less than 1.
I think so, at least.
But Hearthwood got like... is like naked in most of them or something, I don't know.
Not
There's...
much clothing there, yeah.
But wears panties for some reason.
But I think they are cute.
Do you think panties are cute?
I don't know.
There's a pandas on head emote.
Well,
That makes it 2 pant emotes. Which is more than I have. Man, there's this cheerleader emote showing tummy. Yeah, I guess Yanerto has 0. 100 C# saxophones, though it's B or H. If you're playing soprano, tenor, saxophone, bass saxophone, I think also bodies actually play E for the written C# note, but I don't play any instruments in the key of E flats, so I'm not entirely sure. In the ebb key. Well, seems very complicated. Coach, nice to look at, nice to touch, nice to have.
I see. There's some conflicting information with that quote and what Bonbon usually says.
What? No, what? Huh? Where's the conflict?
The nice to look at.
No, what? It is nice to look at.
I don't have the points to make my argument right now.
Oh, you mean my panties? I mean, my panties are nice to look at. I mean, you should look at it, but I will. I mean, panties in general. I mean, okay, we don't know, but... Okay, what if we change this to Kafka's panties? Kafka's panties are nice to look at, nice to touch, nice to have.
Well, I suppose then there's no conflict anymore.
You don't even know what she's referring to in that quote. Yeah. Janet just assumes it's panties, or my panties specifically. Because of course Janerto would think so. Orange.
My history with you does lead me to this conclusion, yes.
Cool, add quote. I mean, my panties are nice to look at. That doesn't mean you should look at them. Exactly.
Thanks for the system check, but...
How do I go through the both X and Y axis of the logic?
Under what circumstances?
I guess I can make a function and insert, but that seems a bit... a lot. And I wrote that for each, for the X and for the Y, but that doesn't work.
I mean, if you are doing the same thing for both, just making a method of what you're doing and then calling it for them separately, but
I guess. Okay. I will write a function for x here, and then I will copy it. I guess so.
But do you need it to be a separate one?
I'm listening.
I'm not totally sure what you're exactly doing, but from what I gather, loosely you are having the exact same thing being committed to two different values. Correct?
It will run through, it will do the same thing for the x-axis and the y-axis.
So if you make the method such that you input the y value and the x
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I
y
could
value,
just,
and it does the thing to that.
it does the
and
same to the
then
x value, and then it does the same to the
x
y
value.
value. I mean, yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
Or I could write the code in such a way that actually just runs it in Vector 2 to begin with.
That could also work, yeah. It returns a vector to then too. Huh.
But yeah.
What about bots?
I like bots.
Me too.
Oh. That's why I made a drawing for you where one of the bot is showing. Anyway.
Koshe.
Cozy, maybe it says cozy. Quote, yeah, you got all that mess on your side. And yeah, that might be referring to Kochi. Whiskey, you're using the wrong account again. Could switch over to your correct account, please.
Damn.
Should I have it? It shows as soon as you use this account, it tells you it's up, wrong account. Why do you keep using the wrong account? How does this keep happening? How does this keep on happening?
Oops, I did it again. And that's about how long I remember how the song goes.
Are we going to have a Jan Ersto karaoke now?
I already did that once.
Oh, I missed that one.
Probably gonna do it again.
Ooh, I'm interested.
Well, you're gonna need to wait for about 4 months.
I can wait 4 months to get a summer karaoke. Is it summer then? It's August, it's like late summer, I guess.
It's supposed to be September then.
Okay, 4 months enough, some days, so...
Well, it's 25th now. Well,
yeah, so 25th of August in 4 months.
yeah, but it's like 7 days away from that.
Okay, so early...
And again, it is closer to 5 months still.
Okay, mid-September.
Yeah.
Okay, so you should sing Caramel Dansen in Swedish?
Not gonna happen.
Why not?
Because I don't feel like it.
But all that Swedish studying.
If everything goes to plan, I don't need to remember Swedish at that point anymore.
I'm disappointed.
One licked.
Whiskey likes to lick me.
Damn.
Just want to stop by and lick the pon. Yeah, you got the new songs. told you it's 86% kid. The normal number of ones. Yeah, I know too many accidental does karaoke again. Oops, I did it again. Is that a song you should know?
Maybe I should pull one song that can be practically anything that I sing. But then the question is, where shall I pull it, such that anyone notices it?
Do it in a place where only I notice it. And I'm the only one who...
Yeah, then I will invalidate it.
No! You can't invalidate me.
No, but I can invalidate your opinion on what I should do on my stream.
Darn it. You should let everyone pick songs for you. Licking the pears. Only one song, what do you mean? You just queue up more songs. God, this is gonna be so weird.
Ah, thanks for the follow, Agent Whiskey.
Oh. Yeah, follow the cyborg. Dreams. Jump. But I added Steel Ray Vaughn. Whatever the name is. But Orimin just all of a sudden said Chihuahua should be ready now. Why is your response to that? Yes. Response it should be, but whatever. Respond. Is my new word. It means to do the same thing over again. Anyway. Who is Oremian's pride and joy? This is a good comment. Josh.
That is quite the quote, yeah.
Not the longest quote, but it's our quote. Because obviously the longest quote will be quite a quote.
Would it though?
I don't know, maybe. Yeah, that's probably the longest quote. I'm going to find like the longest quotes. This is a long quote. whichever quote goes off screen as I'm scrolling through the quotes. There's apparently not so many that are that long. Only 3 of them. And yeah, 1348 is the longest quote I got in number of characters. 1260 is the second longest quote. And you can see it's not really that long compared to the longest quote. The biggest quote, it is the biggest quote of all quotes, and also the biggest quote including Kochi, is also the biggest quote including Pon Pon.
Doing everything into that one quote, I see.
And the biggest quote that includes underwear. But not the biggest one that includes panties. It is referring to panties, but doesn't mention it. And of course, Kochi has the biggest quote on my stream. You know, it makes sense, right? Oh, fairy, do you like it? Maybe I should just make a function of this. Yes, I do accelerate X and accelerate Y. Which should be
Very belly bunny.
yeah, most of my tummy is showing. Gotta see that belly. Alright, gotta head back out. You got your satisfaction now.
Have a good weekend.
Whiskey has priorities. Gotta see Tummy, gotta lick Pon Pon. And all this stuff. But no obligations of that. I love that this is the first thing I see in chat. Well, yeah, the quote. Since I'm not doing it in a sexual provocative manner, I'm just taking my clothes off because someone said take off your clothes for this amount of money. And yeah, I'll do it. Nothing sexual provocative going on about with that, is there? Hello, Princess Hecate. Yeah, that is your introduction to Pon Pon. What do you think? Based. So far, good, I guess. Yeah. I guess unless there is like a vector to move towards, and there is apparently. Huh. I could possibly do this. It doesn't show up on screen, it's text unfortunately, but I will. So the current location would be, well, the current speed strafing, because I'm obviously using moving towards in the sense of what its speed should be. And target should be the target's speed strafing, and that is what I need to calculate. Okay, let's calculate this one. It has its maximum strafe speed. So it should be strafe direction. Wait, there should be a vector too already. Strafe direction multiplied by strafe max speed. And the most it can move is the strafe accelerate. Think. And that outputs, I assume. Okay, let's see if this actually works. The vehicle won't move, but I will see its value. And I will use the controller.
How valuable is it one?
I will use the controller for small movements. I hope it works as intended, because that would be pretty cool. Okay, it does not work properly, but it almost works.
Well, my loading system has sort of started working. Doesn't do much yet, but it kind of does what it needs to. It just need to extend what it actually does.
As far as I can tell, the Y value works properly, the X value does not.
They're setting Bonbon's color scheme with that command. That is why the message is quite confusing.
Yeah, those are color values. And I assume this is a color that is very much like my... No, the color has run out, that's why. Okay, it almost works, it's just that the x-axis does not work properly. That's a bit annoying, because this is going to be very hard to figure out why.
I get it. I guess you will want to get that done today.
Well, yeah.
I am sort of tired and sort of got this thing to a point, so I'm wondering if I should end it here for today.
That's fine.
I guess you got over your tiredness.
Maybe.
Maybe.
As long as it's half that. Okay.
Good luck with your controller codes.
The rest is still. Yeah. Yeah, I'll continue to see if I can get this to work. Just the only thing not working properly is sideways movement.
Okay. Well. So, yeah, the strafing, you know.
The strafing, yes. So going sideways only gives. Like if backwards is half and forwards is full, that means that sideways should be 3/4, but it only gives 1/4. So something is going wrong there.
So. Okay. Good luck and bye-bye, and see you at some point.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I have a good one. Bye bye.
Nice. Bye-bye.
Generator has now left the building. So yeah, so what I have to figure out is why does it output? Because the value should go from 1 at the top to, okay, I basically need to look at every value here. Okay, let's just do debug log and output all the values and see what they all do. For example, the transform forward should output a proper to the vector. And let's see if it seems to do that. Threshold should give a proper value of 1 or -1 constantly based on the driving controls. Let's see if it does that. Quote, yeah, coach is way too overstimulated at this point and he really needs to relax. We should leave coach's ball shut up. 2 coach calls in a row. Yeah, the good thing coach did not see the second one. So we're presently accelerated, the value shouldn't change, but as soon as I press the go backwards slide test, it should go to negative. That's a bit of a dead zone there. And finally, this value is again the throttle buttons. But regardless if you press negative or positive, braking or accelerating, they should both result in a positive value. Coach, then I will speak like I can't swallow. It's okay, coach will make sure coach sees that code. It might happen. Ask coach to get code 1652. It's kind of funny that the code quote did show up at 1650 with the number 1652. People are unable to do that. People are unable to speak like they can't swallow. Okay, so if I press the accelerator, this number goes up. And if I press the brake, it goes up too. So yes, all that seems to work. And then let's put this at the bottom actually. So the strafe direction should also work. It's shouted out loud by Keys. Coach is staring, font selection. But yeah, so if I use the strafe, this value now changes, and it does change correctly. First value is the x-axis, so left and right goes from -1 to +1. Up is the second value, -1 to +1. And if I press the accelerator button, regardless of where I guess this one is a bit in a way, but it doesn't matter really. You can see down here that if I press the accelerator button, okay, here's the current throttle. So +1, -1. This is the throttle for strafing. So if I press the accelerator, which you can see at the bottom there, you can see that it straightens it out and goes forward, regardless of where I have it. Let it bring it back, it then goes straight back instead. So you can straighten it out to go forward. You can press it down a bit. So all that works. But I guess the one part that isn't working is the strafe delta. The strafe delta should be 0 when it goes along which direction you're going in, and it should increase to 1 the further away from it you go. Because that is the one that determines if you go more forward or more backward. So yeah, so pressing forward gives 0, but as it moves away, it goes out to 50, and it goes to, so this one is working probably. That is interesting. So it's 1, so forward is 0, backwards 1. And it's basically 50 directly to the side. And at a 45-degree angle, which is somewhere here. Oh, it's only, doesn't give a quarter. That's interesting. It's gonna be 2 high values actually. I have more songs by Kiss now, but I guess I need to add more Kiss songs too. The summer song by Joe Satriani. I guess I'll add it to the list. Kiss. Coach, yes, I was going down that. I wasn't doing while going down that. One of Zuckerberg's favorite quotes. Snowboarding without a snowboard, which is just, isn't that cool? Wait, why is this not working properly? This is weird. Okay. External reach should probably work properly. I will find which value is messing up. Yeah, forward is slightly higher than... Yeah, I mean, that works probably. I wouldn't need to check max speed, but I'm going to check max speed anyway. Okay. Oh. That's why. Makes it kind of funny. I don't need to check max speed. I do have to check max speed. So now... will work. Yeah, now it's doing it correctly. Magic. Which I should have this negative. Because backwards max speed is the only thing that is negative. So I can just invert it, keep doing this, and have it be a positive value. Let's make sure it's positive value here too. I'm orange now. That's a nice color. Oh, you're good at picking colors. Okay, here, and then I go here, and this one should not be nice one. Now it should hopefully still work, and yep, it's acting correctly. Good. And if I switch it back to being it's not a strafer anymore. The normal controls should work just fine. Yeah. Works perfectly fine. Okay, let's put it back to be a strafer. You can also set it to strafe but not swivel, which is a weird combination, but sure. And now to actually build a logic that moves the vehicle. Wait, shouldn't that already be? I guess when it comes to this again, shift the vehicle in position for them backwards, which I guess needs to be check overlap box does not exist in current context. What do you mean? Oh, that's what you mean. Now it exists. Because this is for the vehicle's strafing mode. But it needs to do a different vehicle update system for... Also, it doesn't need to check for colliders when it's flying. What song is this? Panic at the Disco, yeah. Camisado. But oh, I see you're an honest critic all of a sudden. Yeah, apparently some people are. Okay, so I take the transform position, add to it based on the value that is currently called current speed strafing. However, X transform vector 2 to 3, and then insert it. Boom. And sync transforms, and I guess that's it, because I mean the helicopter will not be able to collide with anything, but okay, let's see if I can brave with the tank. Whoa, that was a bit too fast. Wait, why is it so fast? Oh, I know why. It's super fast. Because I didn't multiply it with the fixed time delta. There we go. Now it's not super speedy because the game is running 120 times updates a second. It was doing. Because I didn't take that into considering, it was therefore going 120 times faster than I was supposed to. Yay, now it can strafe. Obviously, the speed of the vehicle you have to adjust. Like it steers slowly forward, well, it steers fast forward. Okay, as it does not check for collisions because the helicopter is supposed to go over everything. And at any time you can just press the forward button and it will do regardless which way you're strafing, it will ignore everything and just go forward. But yeah, you can strafe now. And we can rotate too. Whee! Very fun. I mean, as long as you're using the accelerator, this is actually not very different from... Well, it is a bit different because if you move forward and then you turn around, it slows down a bit too fast, but it's kind of like driving on ice. It stopped rotating for some reason. Whee! Okay, it is working. Now we'll actually need a proper helicopter. I guess I should have like can collide as a value. Let's do that. Can collide. I mean, of course it can collide because two helicopters can ram into each other if in multiplayer and stuff like that. Time to build a helicopter? Well, I guess. I guess I should make the meshes for the different vehicles. But yeah, I got all these values now. Now the logic should be there. Let's disable strafe. And now I can just set here. Strafing is will a helicopter have, swivel will everything except the car have, turret is only the tank that has. Which means that every vehicle will have its own arrangement of these three values. Isn't that pretty cool? Quote, the panties or your actions? Good question. Do, 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 do. Camera offset calculations should also be updated. Because currently it calculates that based on that it doesn't strafe. But if it does, because it considers where forward of the vehicle is and stuff. But if it doesn't, I'm gonna target forward multiplayer is what I need. So all it needs here is basically just current speed strafing multiplied by the camera. So if I go back, is there enemies in this game yet? Nope. And there goes my clues. Who is this? This white cat? Of course it's you. Who else would it be? I mean, half the people here. Even sometimes even Remian and Cold surprise me with there. Okay, it should collide with... No, it doesn't. Oh yeah, because it doesn't undo. It does slowly push it out. But yeah, so now... Why is it slightly off to the side, by the way? Oh. I know why. because I forgot to include the vehicle's current position too. So it always resets to the default position of the map. Not that useful, is it? But yeah, so now it does shift ahead of the vehicle based on its current strafing. Looky here, I've been in the stream like for the last 2 to 3 streams, and every time I've joined, the honest redeem is on cooldown, so I've been missing out. So there we go, now the camera kind of like goes ahead of the vehicle. Well, White Cat sounds like a you problem. Well, you shouldn't be peeking at me on the way anyway. Oh, it's this here. So I guess I just take this. It does the negative on it. And then I can take current speed strafing to set to 0. So how it will behave now is when you actually run into something, it will stop strafing. Which, oh no, it doesn't work because it's a new vector 2 0 0. Because it's a vector 2 is on the float. Thank you for following, Sunsail. I mean, it doesn't sound like a big problem to me. It's like, oh no, I can't undress Palm Pod. What do you want Palm Pod to say? Like, oh, that's so sad. Dunk. So maybe I shouldn't set strafing to 0. No, I might still need to actually. Really that you're going to bump into something, but I guess when you actually do. Because the box will, because it does consider the height of these collision boxes, so the helicopter will be placed up in the sky. And also take the rotation into account. So, bonk, wee, bonk. This makes perfect sense. Donk. Going for Fun Spandy. Go for Feral Fun. Feral Evil Fun going for Feral Not Evil Fun. Spin. Well, I'm glad that this is working out. Oh, it always looks weird with the tank, but with the helicopter it will look very... It's not everyone gets to have fun trees. Oh. Yeah, the helicopter should like have faster rotation and stuff. Have faster speed. And not different... Not as huge difference between forwards and backwards. I don't know. Maybe it's actually greater, this speed difference. She pet Feral upon Pon's fluffy bunny tail, which made her mad, and she turned evil. Oh. And now she's gonna grab a knife and cut a hole into your socks so your big toe sticks out directly into your shoes. And that's very annoying. Sounds like you know that. Sounds like you have a lot of experience with Specifically glad. Oddly specific, as they say. Oh no! Oh, my socks might be thread back. well then. Da, da, da. Oh yeah, I did those changes. Add a global screen. Okay. I should do like vehicle strafing, global functions. I guess that's it. Yeah, there we go. That's the CN note on the screen, by the way, because I've never hated that thing. Well, cool. So now, what now? I was unfortunately not in the best mood when I started today. I mean, I guess I could throw together a helicopter. Let's see if I can do that. Let's go to this one. And it should be located. Okay, here's the tank, mesh, vehicle. Okay. The vehicle name should probably be. Okay. So, and then I go here. There we go. This is the tank. And here is our cube. But now I should have a helicopter, so if I duplicate the tank, call this heli. What does a helicopter look like? It's not going to be like a very detailed helicopter, but a helicopter looks like a helicopter. Well, yeah, thank you. That will help me immensely. Oh look, a helicopter. That doesn't look like a military helicopter too. Which I might be making here. Okay, let's get the general shape. Of the helicopter. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. As it doesn't really matter how this one looks like. Alright, can I copy the shape of the one in Return Fire? Taking notes, I see, of my beautiful helicopter here. That's what it looks like in Return Fire. Not exactly, but for the sake of a demo helicopter, it does its job well. It is completely flat. It also have additional things here. Also this piece here, everything here should also be narrower. Oh, that's many I wanted. It's beautiful, isn't it? I remember as a kid, I wanted to try and modify a bicycle into a helicopter. Oh my! The fellows will spin the main and tail rotors, and you just shift your weight to control the direction. Unfortunately, it would be impossible to fly since a person's legs would not be able to spin the rotor fast enough to actually lift off. You just need some cogs, of course. I'm gonna need some proper cogs to get the are all you're missing. Right, to make sure it doesn't look weird in the end. That's actually... It's a very weird looking helicopter. It serves its purpose, okay. Very hard to see what everything is even supposed to look like. Do. Also had an idea to modify bicycle in an airplane, attach a prop on the front and some wings to the side, same problem as the bike. Wouldn't be able to generate enough force thrust on a pedal to fly. I guess that makes sense. Do. Okay. Let's see a quote, and you should die. Not that I want you to die. I feel like the Wright brothers tried that idea already. Perhaps. Let's add a very big. I don't know how big tail rotor should be. Should be like that. Maybe modern bike chain technology makes it possible now. Yeah. Lightweight tail system. Tail system, no, I cannot say. Chain system, I'd say. Well, let's delete. I think you're like one-sided. There you go, it's a silly looking helicopter. Should have some landing here. What you would I know I'm working way too much on demo helicopter. So it's going to be replaced with a real one after this anyway. This'll do. It's perfect. For the sake of a demo helicopter, it works. There is a very bulky one. Okay, let's see if we can find it here. Okay, it needs to be called meshes. And also this has their own name. We call it Heli. Does that change the name? Yes, it does. Where can I find? Well, fine. Now, alright, I forgot a few things. Let me save this one. Sorry. Okay. It does not have a turret or turret target. Well, I guess. No, it doesn't need that. There. Those should be included too. There. Terveidexi. Terveidexi. Oh, if you say so, proceed. I'm gonna say it in every language. There we go. Oh, there. Beautiful. And then we create a prefab of these. There we go. And I can delete it from here. Now I just need to set it up the same way. So it needs the vehicle data script. Okay, start with that. Wrong one. There we go. That's the one. Okay. Vehicle data script. Yes, I have. There we go. You never did that. I got put into a random stream. It was a long time ago, but still. So let's see here. It's that. Why is it back left, back right, front left, front right, or whatever? Oh yeah, because back alphabetical order. That's why. It doesn't have a turret. What more is there? Box collider. Let's add that. There we go, there it is. Arguably the box collider doesn't need to be this big. It should be down to the floor. Oh yeah, because of how far back it goes. Okay, it wasn't apparently that much of a difference. I could measure it properly in Blender, but it was actually measured properly. This will be fine. I guess that's it. A box collider and the values. And then it's just the question what all these values should be. Can strafe and can swivel now. And now in the oh yeah, I have it here. It switches to the tank. Test switch this, yes, okay. So no, vehicle helicopter, there we go. How coachy? Rude. Vehicle type. I do have vehicle type. Helicopter. Tank should be set to 1, helicopter should be set to 2. The only thing I need now is kind of like the helicopter should be up in the air, of course. But 1652, whatever was the quote. I don't know. It's me, the ethics police. Why are you dressed like that? Kochi, you're the one who caused it to happen. You can't be like addressing me and then be like, Ponpon, why are you only in your underwear? That doesn't need to be ethical. I mean, you're probably not the ethical one for undressing Ponpon. There we go, there's a helicopter. But The helicopter can strafe and rotate. Whee. Now we just need to figure out what good values for that will be, and also the helicopter should be up in the air, but whatever. Quotes. Oh, I'm sad now. How dare you coaching? Yeah, there we go. No one said it. I know a quote. I'm sick. I'm dressed as coachy. It's me, the ethics police. Why are you dressed like that? That would be a much bigger ethics crime because Coachy is naked on his days. Quote, we should leave Coachy's bald shell alone. What the heck? Watch this lucky dice roll. What do you think about that quote about Coachy? What do you think about code 1652, by the way? I got good feeling today. I hope so. Quote, you wanna see Coachy fighting for my panties? Well, I guess that's a sign. The mirror in front of Coachy. But Coachy, what do you think about code 1652? Hi Coachy, says Giannerto. The braking doesn't matter because of rotation max speed should probably be higher, while rotation should be slower. But no dampening. Wait, why am I modifying the tank? Something like that. Or is this something like that? Hi Yan Yan, damn he's manly. Like Tuga box. Wee. Wee. I need to zoom out more. Okay. Wow. At least spinning. It actually does spin even faster in the. You can spin very fast. Wait, but let's make it spin even faster. Yan Yan and Ponerto. Oh, I see. That's how it works. Yan Yan the Dream Cyborg and Ponerto. Oh yeah, I need to make it so that the camera thing works properly. Should I just do one or the other? Is that as much? Can I get the magnitude? There's no laser detector. There we go. Magnitude is what I'm looking for. Magnitude. I give you dreams and you like them, or cry and like them. Wait, what? Janetta, that sounds a bit scary. I'm not sure if I like this. There we go. No, it isn't working anymore. It's supposed to work. There we go. Now it zooms out so you can see. And you can spin. If you like to spin. I don't know. Bonk. Oh, it's not up in the air at this very moment, but it will. Oh, what? That's an emote. I haven't seen so much emotion coming from Janetta. This is weird. Todd, you got blueberries. Todd, I tried to. Why are you laughing at? I tried to get you some citruses, but I couldn't get the tray to go through. So unfortunately, I couldn't get any citruses for you. Blame said person who I couldn't get the citruses from. Who is the one criminal here? The one criminal. I don't feel like writing on this anymore. I will go and do some artwork. Or I could stop streaming. I mean, I've been going for almost 4 hours. Because I have that Brexit animation I should work on. Which I want to finish. Maybe I should end stream, get something to eat, finish the Brexit animation, or yeah, something like that. That sound good. Okay, I'm going to make that decision. I should have the command, the music command, because I currently have the stop command. But if I copy the stop command and add another command, which is stop after. Oh, music stop after. There we go. So copy command ID, go to the music one, add trigger, command triggered, music stop after. Go here, go to there, start stop, here we go. And then I do copy the stop one, go to the ID for stop after, and I'll call this stop music after. And then I scroll down to stop music, and then I do stop music after. It should just be like that. Hopefully that works. And I'll do stop after. Music stops after song finishes. Look at that. It just works. Oh my, I am a magician when it comes to coding. Watch out what Ponpon can do. Watch out for Ponpon and the Dream Bunny. She might dream something crazy. And I need to fix the schedule for. Unfortunately, I didn't do the schedule for this week, but next week I could do the schedule for next week. But not now. But I could do it. I do have to do it. I'll just change the format of it slightly. Who do we raid into then? We could go to Fetzy Plop. Haven't been there in 117 days, so that might be a good choice, wouldn't it? The stream may be over chat. Why would the stream be over the chat? But I got French toast. Oh. What? How does that make? How is French toast different from Canadian toast? Quote, well, look at my boobs. No, don't look at my boobs. Look, I got a 3D model on the screen. So... thank you everyone for being here, I appreciate it. 22 points today. Unless the stream ends, actually, because Fetzy has been going for 4 hours already. No, stream is continuing. Okay, let's start a raid. I really appreciate everyone. You're all cool. Next week is going to be fully packed with plenty of stream collabs. So that's going to be exciting. Bye bye Ponpon. Thank you for today, Janerto, and being able to withstand my situation despite my okay. I guess, yeah, this stream is actually ending. Okay, and then we raid the other person I haven't raided in 122 days. Or maybe we raid someone I raided in 152 days, which is specifically Amy Hannah. Wait, didn't I raid Amy not too long ago? Certainly wasn't 152 days ago. Because, I don't know, it's a nice time day. Cancelled, yeah, cancelled. Stream is ending, so I'm going to switch target. Let's go to Amy Hannah. Someone likes this stream. Flat, yeah. Ponpon wants to raid someone. The person raids. The person stops streaming. Ponpon said. But let's go to someone else. Yes, let's do the raid message. Once, you can do whatever you want. I like the cheerleader one. Yeah, you can do a smarking on Ponpon spend. That's a good one for this stream. This is a very streamy stream. Apparently I'm still a moderator. Be normal, have fun, be cute. No, you just are cute. You don't have a choice. Apparently a Hopkin. It's Amy, who you should be aiming for. Atco, this is a very streamy stream. Well, at least it wasn't steamy. A rare cold snow coated Yeah, that doesn't happen often. We'll see at the end of and at the community recap how many times each redeem has been used by everyone. Okay, we're reading out now.